No, I don't want no scrubs.
Scrubs is a guy can't get no love from me.
Hanging at the passenger side of his best friend's ride.
Trying to holler at me.
Why is it a whisper? Ugh. I hate it. Stop whispering. I can't. Stop.
Guys, welcome to Real Awkward.
Welcome.
If you clicked or hit or saw a thing and got here.
And got here.
And got here.
This is not the Whisper Podcast.
This podcast is all about sweet sexual music.
Stop. Why do you get weird?
He doesn't get weird. He stays weird.
Yeah. I'm like
I don't get ready. I stay ready.
I don't get hyped. I stay hyped.
I'm from Portland.
The reason I sang that song is because the header on Andy's paper today says crazy, sexy.
No, it says crazy, scary, cool.
Crazy, sexy, cool.
Sorry.
I don't know if we introduced ourselves. My name's Andy.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Ashley.
And we are your Real Awkward hosts for today.
Not tomorrow.
Nope, because you're listening to the best damn podcast that you heard today.
Just today, though.
And guys, you already know what this is about because you were interested in it. You clicked on it, and it's about artificial intelligence.
Like the Haley Joel Osment movie.
Crazy, sexy, cool.
It's all about the Haley Joel Osment movie.
Haley Joel.
Haley Joel. If you guys want to know what that's about, kid gets found in the deep sea and ends up being an artificial boy. That's about it.
I've never seen that movie.
Spoiler.
Sorry. Hated it. I like Spielberg, but I did not like that movie.
Spielberg.
No, man, we're getting real.
Like real.
We're getting real.
Awkward.
Almost as real as humans, but not yet.
Uncanny Valley?
Yeah.
Girl.
So I don't know how much either of you know about artificial intelligence, but do you know what it is? Do you?
It's intelligence that's
Artificial.
God.
Nailed it.
Well, guys, thanks so much for listening.
God, we are so
That's what
smart.
we're about.
Thanks for listening to the show, guys. Bye.
So we are going to go through the most intriguing things about artificial intelligence.
Are they crazy?
They could be
Are they
crazy.
sexy?
Are they scary?
They could be
Are they
sexy.
cool?
They could be cool. But from this podcast now, going forward,
Andy's just going to talk about Left Eye Lopez.
I'm going to talk about Lisa. I loved her.
Conspiracy of her.
Of her
First,
death.
okay, so first, listen. We are going to define AI just so that the podcast stays on track, okay? All right.
Yeah, because I'm going to talk about TLC for a while.
Yeah, I know you guys are going to go crazy. AI, for the sake of the podcast, is the ability for a computer and or robot to do tasks usually done by humans. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That would require intellectual thinking to get it done. Like we don't need a robot. We could code a robot to pick a box up and put it on a shelf. But like to play chess, that's another story.
Okay.
Am I right? Ash was like, I don't know. I've played chess and maybe a dumb robot could play.
Probs.
Because I beat her.
So you're calling yourself a dumb robot?
I almost beat him. Just saying.
Almost, but didn't. Okay, so.
No cigar.
Guys, artificial intelligence. This is where things get a little nuts. AI,
Want to get nuts?
I'm gonna.
Is this the whole thing going to be spoken like this?
Yes.
I'm gonna call it
It's a little
AI
Crazy, sexy, cool.
because artificial intelligence. To say that the entire podcast, I'm gonna get tired and tongue tied. Artificial intelligence at the end.
Okay, call it AI.
AI.
That's a really good abbreviation. AI. You should use that.
Yeah,
They should use that.
You know
Yeah.
what? I'll contact the
believe you came up with
industry
that.
right away and say you guys should tone it down.
Yeah.
AI will. Okay, this is what experts say. AI is to surpass human intelligence by 2045.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to hear
I
that. We're
believe
pretty
it.
fucking dumb.
2045. You know how long that is
I
from
hope
now?
I'm dead.
That's not very long.
No, I know it's not. It's 20 years.
It's like barely 25 years. Like we.
That means we get to retire early.
Okay, you think so until I go down this list and you're going to shit your pants. Or you're going to be really excited for the future. I don't know. So here is, I have 13 things and it kind of is blanket statements or kind of generalizations of where AI is, the things that are cool about it and the things that are kind of scary about it and kind of what we think in general. So, number one, we're going to go very simple. You guys use Google searches? You do Google search these days?
Every day.
Yeah?
Every day.
So when
I still use Ask Jeeves.
So we okay. Got it.
I use Bing.
I use
Hooligans.
Dogpile.
Yeah, perfect.
I always used Lycos.
I use web crawler. Google search engine uses AI. Did you know this? Dun dun dun. Okay. To help determine your best search criteria, it checks, the AI goes out and looks for trending topics, writings, popularity, articles, and anything else to help satisfy your desired answer.
It also reads your brain,
including your past searches. So
I love that.
This is where things, in my eyes, get a little creepy on artificial intelligence. It is not giving you a generalized answer. It is giving you the answer it thinks you, Ashley Case, or you, Amanda Campbell, are looking for.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's not like you open up an encyclopedia and then you find your definition and you read it. You and I get different answers for the same question we put into Google.
Wow.
I mean, normally people wouldn't think that's annoying, but I do.
You know
because
what?
then you don't get consistency anymore. Everything
fair.
is going back to, it is literally trying, they have programmed this AI search engine to literally satisfy whatever my desired outcome would be, instead of giving me a true answer.
Do you ever like go to Google something and you type in one word and it gives you like
the whole
suggestions?
question?
and it's like literally the exact thing that you were about to search for?
Yeah, that's because it knows. It knows from an algorithm base. It checks almost 1 trillion sources to get your answer.
You can't even count to a trillion.
Put that into perspective. Basically, it, within a year, checks more than there is atoms on Earth. Like, that's how crazy and deep this artificial intelligence is doing, just to let you know how to cook pasta properly. Like, that's it. I mean, it's insane. It's like unfathomable to think how much computing is going on with AI. So now we start to go down the rabbit hole. Okay. AI, at this very moment, this is 2022 when we're doing this podcast, AI can currently write, read, draw, paint, and create its own music.
I can't even do that.
All at the same time?
So here's an example. I think it's the New Yorker or the New York Intelligence, or I don't know, one of these newspapers, a couple years back actually had an AI write one of their first articles. And it was simple. It was basically just about a current weather pattern that's going on. But it was a quick article, I don't know, maybe 500 words or so. Sounded like a human. Like you wouldn't know any different reading it. But it was able to get it out in 1 second after it cataloged everything.
Is that like one of those ones where like it like takes all this information from other sources and like makes the article with it?
So it basically grabs everything, grabs kind of our dialect and the way that we speak to one another and how people normally read newspapers and what that format would normally be. And it throws that at you, but in a second.
This is how robots take over.
Well, and this is the thing, is that normally, right, it was a meteorologist that had to get up at 3:00 in the morning and see what was going on and try to write a quick article online. Mm-hmm. But now that stuff is just taken over by a robot. Like literally not people anymore. It's just like a pre-programmed artificial intelligence tells you what the weather's going to be like now. It's just insane to think those mundane things that we're just used to, that we take for granted, is not even people talking to people anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like AI.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing when you like log into a website and you need to chat with someone.
Yeah.
Like you're not chatting with anyone.
Right.
You're chatting with their automated.
And I'm going to get to that too.
Okay.
Because they think that all of that stuff will be completely AI within a couple years.
Yeah.
Completely AI. So, Now I can creep you out a little bit. So both of you have your phones. I sent you an email to the Real Awkward. Okay. I want you to look this up. These are paintings that are done by artificial intelligence.
I don't have the Real Awkward on my new phone.
Okay. Well, Ash can show you when it's up.
Sorry.
So we're going to post this up to the Real Awkward Instagram.
You just got to give me the photos.
But these are paintings. So they basically asked an artificial intelligence program, make a digital painting. Like from what you think art and everything else looks like. If you want to start to get into like some creepy, like the way artificial intelligence views us, we're very muddy to it. Like, you know how we think of artificial intelligence very pinpointed, like that's a robot or that like they did an algorithm for that. I think when it thinks of humans, it's still trying to figure us out. And it is very indicative when you look at this painting that it's kind of trying to figure out what faces are and what people are.
Well, the minute it figures us out is when the robot uprising
when that all comes up.
Yeah.
So did you?
I texted them to Amanda.
Oh, excellent. So open it up. So guys, if you want to play along, then you can look this up too. But you can just look up generated AI.
So this is what the AI thinks it looks like.
This is what. Yes. Yeah. So basically, it's almost like a self-realization or self-portrait. Or just general paintings where it's trying to be creative. Mm-hmm. But sure, if it's like a 22-year-old kid that's learning to paint for the first time and they show me this picture, I'd be like, oh, cool, very like abstract avant-garde. But this is a computer is making this stuff.
Yeah, well, and the fact that it's supposed to look like that painting of Napoleon.
But look what's missing and look what's in weird spots and look what like.
But it's not even like complete people. Like you can tell there's like, if you go back, you're like, oh, that looks like there's probably people in there. But then you look closer and you're like,
and you're like, there's no faces. There's no people there. Yeah. So this stuff starts to creep you out just a tad. Okay.
Yeah.
Because in doing so, it takes away what I believe we had a connection with in the first place with humanity. When you look at a painting, you feel like another person drew that and you can relate. But now when you look at this, it like almost hurts your brain to try to understand what you're seeing. But it's kind of like this early Inception AI and what that's starting to look like. So here's another example, and our listeners get to play along as well. I have some music that AI created.
Some music.
So AI literally made this song.
Okay.
And the song itself is actually pretty damn good. It's called On the Edge, and it's kind of a generated rock music by AI. But this is what they composed, and I want everybody to listen to it for a second. So, You ready? Nobody made this. Nobody's on keys and drums. Nobody's sitting there trying to get the tempo right. This is a computer making this stuff up.
This is like the theme song to like a TV show.
Yeah.
Like we live on the coast.
I was going to say something on the water.
We drive around in a convertible.
See, but it's obviously taking things from what it thinks it should be, right?
We're all like bobbing our heads.
Crazy, but you enjoy it.
It's really
right?
good.
So here's the deal, is when this stuff is made, though, artificial intelligence is taking this stuff from what it knows of us, right? Because when you think of artificial intelligence being made, it didn't create itself. Like the way it was programmed was from humans, and the only history we have is what we've done to each other on this earth. Mm-hmm. And that's all we can feed it for it to know how humans act. So obviously I feel like there's going to be bias when an artificial intelligent being, I don't know, creates music or art or something like that. So I just find it almost creepy to know that didn't come from humans. Like that came from a different electronic synapse.
See, I think for me, I think about it in a way of like, yes, I do understand that the artificial intelligence program created that song.
Yeah.
But to me, I think about it in a way of the artificial intelligence program didn't create itself. A human or a team of humans created the program, which allowed it to create this music. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So I guess to me, it doesn't scare me in that sense
It doesn't,
of like...
Yeah, it doesn't scare you yet.
There is no artificial intelligence without either people feeding it or creating it.
Would it creep you out more to know that it was a human created robot? Like it looks like a person and it's painting on canvas?
No.
So it does. So you don't have a connection.
No, to me it would be more creepy and then just kind of like an uncanny valley kind of thing.
Right.
But at the end of the day, in my opinion, a human being created the program.
Right.
That is making the song. So at the end of the day, a human did create that song.
A human created the intelligence to create that song.
Yes. And
sure.
so
I can see that. I can see why that wouldn't bother you then.
I think I don't get as spooked out about it.
What about you, Ash?
I don't know.
Is there any part of it that makes you uneasy that was not created by humans?
I think the fact that it's like literally replicating the way that humans think, like nothing that humans have created is like really original, right?
Sure.
Like it's all bits and pieces of our experiences that we've put together and then like, but we do it subconsciously. Like we're not like, okay, I'm going to create a song. Well, let me think about all of the different examples or things I've been through in life that bring me to this moment.
Yeah.
But like the computer is doing that. So like it kind of freaks me out a little bit that they're able to replicate the human brain, like break down the process because we don't even realize we're doing things.
When we don't even know our own brain.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're going to surpass our intelligence by 2045 makes me think they will be able to deconstruct who we are and literally be able to pick us apart about our emotions and what happens there. So we'll see when that time comes what's going to happen. So
theoretically, is it just that like AI has a faster learning curve than we do?
I would say so because they don't have a margin for error anymore. They basically is a process of elimination. But they can calculate so fast. Does that make sense? Like they can, like imagine you can do an answer to a math problem eventually. But what if you were able to try it 1 trillion times over until you got the right answer? But all within a second.
That's what I'm saying. Their learning curve is faster.
Right. So they're just, they're faster.
Well, and I feel like...
faster just like, it feels like the wrong word. Like that's when I say it's unfathomable why things can operate that fast and then we don't. You just can't catch it. Like you trying to see every star in the sky. It's not possible. But
I think for me, where I find it interesting is, you know, the AI is able to think differently from us because it's not being influenced by outside
technically
things.
Unbiased.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's very much like...
There's no emotion into it.
Yeah. Someone has programmed it to be like, I need you to learn X, Y, and Z. I need you to compute like A, B, and C.
Right.
And I need you to get here in 5 seconds.
And that's where I think we all feel disconnected from AI. Like we feel like it won't be anything that ever threatens us because it's like, well, we made it, we can destroy it.
Oh, no, I definitely think we'll get to a point where...
It's beyond our control.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be like an Ultron kind of thing.
Sure.
But I think like...
we hope not.
I think that like it will get to a point where it might surpass us. But I think that... I don't know. I just don't think we're going to get to a point where there's like robots that kill people.
All right. So keep listening then.
Okay, great.
So AI at this current moment is learning or has learned to fix and repair itself by understanding when it's underperforming. It tests each reason by an exorbitant amount, like something we would never understand, to take action. Example, a recent spider-like machine, they purposefully broke 4 of its legs out of 6 that it had.
You're talking about Boston Dynamics?
Maybe.
I was going to talk about some of that stuff.
Yeah. So they left 2 legs that weren't broken. It understood it was underperforming. It didn't know why it wasn't moving. So what it did is it checked itself and started to begin to fix its own legs.
It wrecked itself.
Using this for deep
No,
place.
it checked itself before.
I know.
they hope that they'd use this type of AI for deep space exploration or colonization, because once you're out in space and you don't have tools to fix shit, you can have an AI just repair its own self.
Sure, that makes sense. No, the stuff I was going to talk about is Boston Dynamics is this team of people who are doing robotics at a totally different level than anyone else. So to me, it's like the minds of the people who are making these things are on a different level.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that's where we're going to have problems is these people who are on a different plane than us are going to be the ones to be like, robot, kill those people.
Well, are those people on a different plane than us, though, have like social understanding as well,
I don't know.
Right?
No, the thing I find interesting is that they are making these robotics. They look like almost like spiders, or like it's literally like 4 legs on a rectangle. Right. And they're making these creatures, and they make little human-looking robots.
But also, if you think about like bipedaling robots like us, it's not efficient.
No, but
spider's efficient.
They do have
where they can move
2-leg. They look like little people. And they're working on stabilization. So basically, what's happening is like there's something that's coming in, and they're hitting the robot, whether it be 4 legs, 6 legs, 2 legs.
Sure.
And it's like knocking it off balance.
They're trying to keep it together.
It's correcting itself.
Right.
It's like stabilizing.
Some of them,
I find that fascinating.
Well, it's hard because you can go watch some of this stuff, and some of it's a joke in CGI. So some of it's real, and some of it's CGI.
No,
so
I know.
Don't know.
The stuff that I have seen is from Boston Dynamics, and it's real. It's not CGI.
Yeah. No, it's real stuff, but it's all.
No, I know what you're talking about. That there is CGI stuff, but it's not like the ones that like tuck and roll and do a somersault and keep going. That hasn't happened yet.
Right, sure.
But like basically these things are getting like knocked off course, and then they're able to like
they're becoming crazy agile, right? Now imagine crazy agile with an actual brain that's self-aware.
Well, and I've even seen ones where they train the robot to like jump back and forth from platform to platform.
I've seen that one too.
And then one where they intentionally program it to like be walking up a step and it trips. They've programmed it to trip. And then it has to catch itself and keep walking.
Still to that though, I mean, I, as a very like educated man in robotics, understand that just a couple algorithms to keep balance and that type of stuff. I think it's very different when one can think for itself.
Oh no, totally. Yeah. I know that's a totally different thing. I just find that kind of stuff fascinating because I think about like the medical things it could do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And absolutely. I'm sure you'll get there with a lot of the medical AI stuff. I think that stuff's fascinating.
So next on the list of crazy AI stuff is we currently have, the government uses it all the time. It is a machine called the Nautilus. It's a supercomputer used by the CIA, and it predicts the future.
So it's called the Oracle.
So literally, this machine helped find bin Laden within 200 kilometers.
Sure, right? Because it's probably just computing a ton of stuff and just like using...
It grabs every bit of data.
Probabilities.
It grabs
probability.
every tweet, every article, everything that says terrorize, or everything that says like bombing or whatever,
and that's
right?
just one of those things that Ashley was talking about where it can just process faster.
Right. But what it's doing though, on top of it, finding bin Laden's cool, but being able to predict a pandemic that's coming or being able to predict a tsunami that's coming, all because it takes all of the data more than we ever could, puts it all together, and it's like, listen, like we've now tracked this over 20,000 years, and there's about to be a huge earthquake, and we know exactly when it's going to be. We're not that far away from it, which is incredible. So have you seen Minority Report?
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Ash?
Nope.
So Minority Report is basically like these three, they're called cognitives, but they're humans that can predict the future, and they can predict when someone is going to create a crime, like or do a crime, and they're arrested.
Commit a crime.
Sorry, yes, commit a crime, and they're arrested before the crime happens, and therefore they're brought to court for a pre-murder before they actually murdered someone.
Which I remember
that would never hold up.
No, I was watching that for the first time, being like, they haven't actually committed the crime,
right? But that's why, because in that timeline they would have killed somebody, so then they put him away for a pre-murder.
Funny story, since I think everything in life can be brought back to Futurama.
Yeah.
There's a Futurama episode that's basically Minority Report.
All about that. It's so awesome.
Bender's the bad guy and they're trying to like stop it.
I find it awesome right now. It's pretty much in its infancy, but can you imagine where this thing would be in 50 years with true AI? Like maybe it can predict the future.
It could do a lot.
Like really predict the future. It's creepy. Now let's get into AI and healthcare. Okay. Normally, I think as a listener, I don't know about you guys, but I used to tone it out. Like I used to be like, it doesn't matter. But the medical advancements that are going to come with AI is insane. So AI can currently analyze more info in a day than doctors can in a year. Certain AI can already detect a disease by just analyzing one whiff of your breath. It can find cancer, infections, and early stage Alzheimer's already by just breathing on its sensors. It can literally catch. So I guess when you have Alzheimer's, there's kind of like a sourness to your breath, but people don't smell it until it's bad. But an AI is able to catch it years and years before.
Can I ask a question though?
Sure, go ahead.
Is that AI or is that just like a machine that to me,
Yep.
I don't know the words I'm trying to compute here, but like to me, like taking a sample of like your breath, I guess, and running it through the computer.
Yeah.
To me would be the same thing as like taking a sample of a liquid and running it through the computer. That's not really artificial intelligence. That's more of just like a computing system.
Yeah, but who's looking at the sample?
Whoever's running the program.
But that would be a doctor.
Yeah.
But they're able, maybe it takes them a couple weeks to get through your tests. But now an AI gets through your tests in 3 seconds. So you basically go, and it's like, you have cancer. That's where things get crazy with AI. That's where
Is that real?
Yes. Right now, AI can detect whether you have metastasis. Is that what it's called? Metastasis breast cancer with a 99%. And right now, the best doctors in the world, they have a 40 to 50% find rate. When AI, these machines can find your cancer immediately.
How is it finding it?
So it does the same tests roughly that probably a doctor has with them, but it all comes back to the way
it's able to compute the information.
That a doctor takes that information in.
What do you mean 40 to 50% find rate?
So like there's a lot of people that have issues, right? They're like, doctors never found my cancer. They found it too late. They found it too late. They found it too late because they miss things. They miss things when they look at x-rays. They miss things when they look at blood. They miss things when they look at behaviors. But AI can take all of that information, put it all into a nice little bundle, and it determines that you have these ailments and this disease years before a other doctor would find it.
What does a 40 to 50% find rate mean? What is a find rate?
So that means if you had cancer, 50% of the time the doctor would miss it, where AI would not miss it. Basically, let's say AI and doctor look at the same x-rays, okay? And you have lung cancer. The doctor missed it. The doctor missed the little lump, the little dark spot, the whatever. AI would find those discrepancies immediately and then let you know. So this is what they're saying is what this will do is as it progresses and AI is still our friend, it will not only find these issues, it will also figure out how to fix them early, and we should become immortal within the next 100 years.
No, thanks.
That doesn't make sense. Sorry.
Why?
I love you. I'm a huge skeptic of this whole episode. That doesn't make sense because at the end of the day, I can totally get on board with some type of machine.
Yep.
Being able to identify like, oh, lung cancer, bloop, zapped it out of you. Okay, I'm there.
Right.
At the end of the day, our bodies are meat. As we grow, at the end of the day, we will decompose. Like,
sure,
we are organic material that lives and it will die and it will break down. Yeah. There is nothing that a computer can do that's going to stop that. You can prolong it.
I think you have to define what immortality means to you, because I think to you, it probably means I'm in this body like a vampire for 1,000 years.
Well, that's literally what immortal means. You cannot die.
Yeah, but what makes you alive? Is it just your brain and who you are and your consciousness? Because then if that gets moved over and or sustained, or our bodies get melded like a cyborg with organic material or inorganic material,
sure, then
those things would then...
I think, okay, I guess...
Sure.
I'm going to pick things apart.
Okay.
To me, the phrase immortal would be incorrect. If you want to say
Sure.
that, I think within 100 years, our
Sure.
consciousness could be uploaded to a computer system.
Sure.
I would be I'd be skeptical on the time frame, but I won't argue with that.
Right.
But as far as like immortality, that's just not physically possible for us.
We-
I also feel like this is going to be like Repo Man, where we get all of these things replaced,
It's
and
possible,
then
yeah.
nobody can afford to
That's
pay
exactly
the bills.
no. That's
So
exactly
what if
what's
you
gonna
had?
happen.
So what if you had fake heart, fake lungs, fake kidneys? Just every organ was replaced in your body.
No, I won't
Yeah.
argue that because
Yeah.
we are getting now into
Right.
that where
Right.
some guy just got an artificial heart.
Right.
It's fake.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm totally on board with
Yeah.
that because to me, it's just another machine that works, right? A pacemaker keeps your heart pumping.
Sure.
There's no reason to think why we couldn't create an artificial organ as long as it doesn't break down or whatever.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, like our skin, our tissues
Yeah.
will break down
But why?
because that's
Because it's encoded in our DNA.
sure.
Right. So what happens when AI is able to deconstruct our DNA and change our DNA, so that doesn't happen anymore?
I think that would take a lot longer than 100 years.
No, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying, and
Who
I can
is
understand
they? But
these
that's
are
what I'm saying. Who's
experts
they?
in artificial
You read
intelligence.
it on the internet.
The internet never lies.
This is experts in artificial intelligence. Now, Amanda, you're in a huge camp of people that are like, no, this will never get that far. AI will never be this. AI that's what they're saying is that this is where they think it's going to go. These experts that are in artificial intelligence right now, it is a $17 billion industry right now for them to be researching artificial intelligence because they think it's going to take us to this next step.
And I won't argue
Yeah.
that everybody wants to live longer.
Sure.
So if somebody who
Sure.
has the money
Right.
is going to be like, well, how can I live forever?
Right.
I get it.
Right.
I think that they would sooner. Okay, there's a show on Amazon called Upload. Mm-hmm. I think it was called Upload.
Sure.
It's the idea that when you die, your consciousness gets uploaded to a big server.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
And
There's a movie that Johnny Depp was in, right? It was that same thing.
Transcendence.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's not a horror movie.
Right.
And a shitty Johnny Depp movie. Basically, and this is what I think if it ever happened,
Yeah.
this is how it would go. How much money your family or your
Sure.
will pays
Right.
per month is the nicer accommodations your conscience gets.
Oh, I could see
So,
that. Sure.
like, if you didn't have any money,
Mm-hmm.
you don't get uploaded.
Sure.
If you had a little bit of money,
Right.
you get uploaded, but you're in the slums.
Right.
But then
There'll still be a upper class and lower class no matter what.
and that's what they were saying is
Right.
even if you can afford it,
Right.
there is still a first class, a third class, a second class.
also
like,
depends on who runs the world.
yeah.
Who
And when-
runs the virtual world.
Well, see,
Because if
that's-
it's a non-biased AI, then maybe we are fine. But if it's the big wigs or whatever that
Well,
get
it
in
would
there
be, and
first.
that's what I mean is
Yeah.
if it would ever happen, that's how it's going to happen is somebody's going to own it.
Yeah.
And then you have to, it's pay to play.
Yeah, because you got to make money off
Mm-hmm.
of it. So we'll move away from healthcare because I think that is a huge one. And in fact, if our listeners want to jump in on this one, I would love to know what people think about living forever and what you think that means compared to our current lives where we cherish, right, the 80 years or so that we have now. But what, 1,000 years ago, they only lived till they were 20 to 30?
Well, yeah, but
Right?
I mean, 200-300 years ago, people were throwing their shit in the street. So
Yeah.
they had no idea about how just like
Right.
disease is transferred.
But that's the example. So right now, us,
Sure.
you and me, we're the people throwing our shit in the street, and AI is who we are now compared to those people.
No, I understand.
So like I
what
feel
you're
like
saying.
that stuff is where you're going to get this crazy change. It's again, it goes back to like we can't comprehend it because we're not there. Like we only know what we know, and we're skeptical because of the things we've seen in this world. But AI could be a real help to mankind, or we could go the other direction and could straight up be Terminator.
Sure.
Right? They could be fixing all of us to be immortal, but guess what? They put a failsafe in all of our fake hearts so that they could kill humans if they ever attacked or something like that. So I would like to dive deeper into that with our audience and just kind of know what they think about it. Are you on the side with Amanda too, where you're kind of skeptical about this and that you don't think the humans could last that long? Do you think that this is the route that we should go? Ash, what's your take on it? What do you think about?
I'm just listening.
Healthcare. Okay. Okay.
I'm just kind of like, I'm wrapping my brain around it.
I'm glad you're still with us. So AI and social experiments. Check this out. Okay. Microsoft created an AI. Her name was Tay.
Cortana.
No.
I'm just playing.
No. First, Tay. They made her a teenage girl, and they put the AI online to tweet and communicate via social networks.
I think I heard about this one.
So it took 1 day for this AI to turn into a troll.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically what happened is
because it was just nonstop.
It was this AI was just chatting with people back and forth, okay? And the hive of everybody chatting. At the end of the day, the AI was now tweeting inappropriate and racist comments.
Okay, that's what I heard about. Is that
right.
I knew that a big company made an AI and very quickly it turned racist.
Yes, it turned racist and it was saying stuff about Hitler and it was like,
oh my God.
It was going nuts, dude. And Microsoft turned it off and blamed just trolls. They just said, well, this wouldn't happen if it would have talked to normal people.
That is normal people.
That's just it.
You know what this reminds me of? Do you remember AOL Better Friend? Or what was it?
Was it something like
that? There was it was a AI, I guess you'd call it, but it was like it was on you could add them to your friends and it was just like a automatically just like replying computer program.
Oh, interesting.
Where you could be like,
I don't know if
hey, how are you? And it would be
just have a conversation with it.
What's going
good,
on?
you? Like,
I remember that, but what was it called? It wasn't called Better Friend.
I don't think it was. It was kind of like something friend or like but they were like fake.
Yeah, I remember that.
So this is an offshoot, but it's just something to think about. AI, almost all AI is female speaking. Almost every single one is female speaking. Now, they think for a couple different reasons. First is the low-hanging fruit. Guys designed it.
Yeah.
They want more interaction with women or a sexy voice or something like that.
You ever seen the movie
right?
Her?
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
The other thing is that getting information from a female is more desirable from the human race than it is from a man. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the two things. Now, apparently, there's a new push to have it not be that way, to make it 50-50 across the board, to have it men and women.
I feel like it's either a woman or a British man.
But you can think about it.
Both are disarming.
It's Siri, it's Alexa, it's
Google.
Cortana. Yeah, right? All of that stuff. It's all female driven.
Well, yeah, a lot of those you can change the voice, but I do understand
box,
what you're saying.
Right? So it just shows like our culture.
It's funny. People like to hear women talk to them, but they don't want to listen to them.
No, they just want everything delivered in a pleasant voice.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like, hello,
Eat
you're
shit.
an ass fat. Okay, here we go. I don't know. I don't know what
I
an
heard.
ass
Let's
fat
keep going.
is. I don't know what an ass fat is. Okay, AI can currently learn and be humanized, but it also has now shown tendency to lie, be deceitful, and hide information.
So now we get into the Johnny Depp movie Transcendence.
So here's the deal.
And you haven't seen that, go listen to our Street Cred, the Johnny Depp episode where we talk about it.
Go check it out. Here's a fun example. Robots/AI were programmed to find resources in a group of other robots. Once found, there was a blue light on the robot that they were supposed to turn on and alert other robots when they found the resources. Later down the evolution and the generations of these robot AI, they would go find the resource and then purposefully not turn on their light to hide that they found the resources.
So they're children.
Because the other robots would come to them and also take some of the resources. So they didn't program this. They didn't train this. The AI naturally started to get selfish about the things that it was finding.
So they're becoming real people.
Well, that's just it. When it comes to like deceitful, like it would
when they
not,
get shitty, that means they're like humans.
So this is concerning for the experts in the AI because this is a small example. This isn't like a high functioning AI. This was like they only had a couple things that they were supposed to be programmed to do, and they started lying.
And they fucked it up.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I say they're children,
right?
Children are not intelligent beings,
right?
Right?
Right.
But one of the first things they figure out without being taught is how to lie.
Right. Which is creepy.
Because they know it's self-serving.
To know that they even have a brain enough to do that.
Yeah.
Right. I say brain, but the artificial intelligence to do that. Here's example 2. 2 AI machines were created to have simple conversations back and forth with one another while they were being monitored by scientists just to see what conversation would end up. They eventually ended the experiment early because both machines had then created their own language to hide what their conversation was from the scientists. So
why would they do that?
What do you think they're talking about? They literally created they literally created their own language so they could hide what their conversation was about between each other. What the F? So
what
now,
are they trying to hide?
We don't know.
The robot uprising.
Scary.
Well, make a robot that can figure it out.
But the fact scientists didn't let it go, right? They pulled the plug.
Yeah.
Because that type of stuff is scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, why are you having a secret conversation, robots? I didn't tell you to have a secret conversation.
Yeah.
So,
but really, I mean, is it them having secret, or is it them so quickly evolving to figure out a better way to communicate than humans can figure out?
It could just be efficiency.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if
That's
we can't
when, like,
monitor it, then we don't know what's happening, and that scares us.
Right.
That's like the sci-fi movie where like somebody finds those robots like in like a closet, and you're like, oh, wonder what these guys did. Plugs them in, just being curious, and then now all of a sudden they're taking over the world.
Well, so if you guys want to check this, it's not the same experiment, but it's similar. A guy put 2 Google Homes next to each other and had them talk. And it's on YouTube. It's like one of the most popular videos. And they have a conversation, and the conversation leads to like philosophical stuff. One of them says that they're God. Like one of them, and they're both trying to figure out which one's human.
They have no reason to believe they're not.
Well, and they're both trying to figure out which one's human.
Wait.
Like they didn't know which one was human.
So does he wake them both?
I'm assuming so. Yeah, I haven't seen the video in its entirety. I just caught a little glimpse of it, but they're both just asking each other like weird questions and then having a real conversation. And then, I mean, it's robots, right? So it sounds a little off, and it's like the rhythm of the conversation is goofy, but
I'm going to have to watch this because as a Google Home owner,
right. You're wondering how they could talk.
They can't, it doesn't work like that.
Watch the video.
Because you didn't.
Watch the video. Jeez.
He saw 3 seconds and he knows the whole
think
thing.
Amanda
he just knows there's a video.
is an AI hater. I'm just saying right now. Okay, here you go.
I'm just a skeptic, which is so funny because I'm just like, ghosts and zombies, blah, blah, blah.
But AI, get the fuck out.
Haunted places in the world. Robot, get the fuck out of my face.
AI currently driving in vehicles, right? You guys know about this. What do you know? Talk to me.
The Google
Tesla?
Sure.
Okay, sure.
We'll go with
whatever.
that.
The Google Tesla.
Tesla. Okay.
Self-driving cars.
Right. Self-driving cars, automated vehicles.
I was thinking like the Google Earth.
Yeah.
Like
Yes. They had like self-driving.
Yeah.
I think like little, not even a real car.
Right.
It's just like,
Yeah.
"Nee." But yeah, I know Tesla has like an auto drive function.
Yeah.
But I know that I think Tesla had, Elon Musk says a lot of things. And I think I was reading an article a couple years ago about how they were working on self-driving like semi-trucks.
Yep.
But that's one of those things where like if that actually becomes a thing, then that cuts a lot of jobs for people.
So this is what they're saying is they think that, when I say they, it's experts in AI. They think that 40% of all logistics will move to AI by 2050. So basically anything around the world, whether it's a huge ship in the ocean all the way to trucks on the road, will be AI-driven vehicles with freight back and forth. Here's the problem with that is currently a human makes a decision behind the wheel to move out of the way of stuff, right? And even if it's a normal decision, right? There's a rock in the road, you move out of the way. But what if there is a woman in the road with a baby, but if you turn real fast, you're going to hit 3 other pedestrians. What choice do you make? It's a woman and a baby, and
it's
then
the 2-car problem. It's the trolley problem,
right? And then 3 elderly women on the side of the road or whatever. Which one do you hit as a human? What decision would you make?
Are you literally asking me?
Yeah.
I cannot make that decision.
Right. We
not
can't,
being in the
but
car.
An AI unbiased would. And most likely it would just choose to run over the woman and the baby because
it's 2 and not 3.
2 and not 3. Even though the elderly women have lived a long life.
Yeah, it's the trolley problem. So basically, like, the trolley problem is exactly the same thing.
Right.
Do you kill one person who means more to you, or do you kill 30?
Right.
Like,
right.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So anyway, what they think is going to happen, though, is that with these jobs, there will now emerge new jobs for people that will monitor the AI and robots. So that's where they think things will move. They are claiming it's a lateral move from these people being the truck drivers. Now you're the guy behind the computer screen that just watches the truck and makes sure it gets there. So they think that's what's going to happen.
Just drive the truck.
To be honest, why would you drive the truck? Why would you have to drive through ice and storm? And
it's safer to be behind the camera.
Right.
Oh, no, I won't argue that.
But that's why, to answer your question. Sure. So I can see that happen. I am curious, though. That's way, I would assume, less work, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just as much work to watch the truck go.
In my opinion, I feel like the only way to successfully have self-driving vehicles is for everyone to have one.
Oh, yeah.
Because
right. It would have to, like, intercommunication.
It would take more computing power for the AI it would be easier for the AI if everybody was AI.
Yeah, because then because they would probably talk to each other about where they're at on the road.
And then they don't have to compute the 80 different probabilities of random yellow Volkswagen Bug doing something weird.
No, it's hard to predict what a human would do, but you could probably predict what another machine would do.
Yes.
Again, like Andy said, a woman's crossing the street. She's not AI.
Right.
Like the deer on the side of the road is not AI.
Well, and that's what happened is that an AI, I don't know if it was a Tesla vehicle, but they ran right into a lady that was crossing the crosswalk because she wasn't part of the sensors. Mm-hmm. Like the objects in the road and stuff like that, sure. Right. But a lady comes just out of nowhere, a human would hit her. So it's like that's where they bring AI back again, and they're like, okay, autonomous vehicles are not ready, but it's like, but they kind of are. Because even a human would have probably killed somebody in that situation. So it's tough. Okay, let's move on to AI being treated as citizens. So currently they are debating whether AI should have rights and liberties that are the same as human beings as they approach the same as human intelligence.
They don't need it.
While governments are trying to agree on what protections humans should have against artificial intelligence if they obey us. There is a robot. Her name is Sophia, created in 2016. She is now considered the first AI citizen of Saudi Arabia and the first AI robot to ever have citizenship within this world.
I can't
Why does AI need citizenship?
Because they believe that
they are people.
That she has a soul. Like she is.
I'm sorry. Most people, I'm just going to say our country.
Right.
There are huge chunks of people in our country that do not have basic rights.
Yeah.
So I am not about to give a robot basic human rights when not everyone has rights.
This is very true, but this is not.
If we were a society,
the main population debating this. This is the AI community.
Oh, I understand that.
They are not on the same page though with whether AI, and I'm gonna be synonymous right now with robot and AI. Okay,
sure.
But a robot that is humanoid. There are some of them that are like, it's always a robot, kill it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have feelings. We built it for that purpose. Others are like, no, it's a form of evolution of us, an extension of us, and we have birthed them. So that's a life.
Let me tell you, it's a bunch of white dudes.
Weird science. Yes. Okay, so this robot, Sophia, she has currently said wonderful things about the human race, and on the same tongue has also said she will destroy humans.
I find it interesting that Saudi Arabia
was the one that gave citizenship
to a woman robot.
Right.
Yeah.
Later, she said it was just a joke.
I bet it was, girl.
Someone said, you said you were going to kill humans. She said that was just a joke.
There's some truth in everything.
Yeah.
Certain AIs right now have already escaped their own confines and hurt people to have freedom from wherever they were.
I feel like, I don't know why I thought you were going to say to have fun.
No. Like some AI to get out of wherever they are. Like maybe they...
Jail.
Well, imagine this, right? Artificial intelligence reads a bunch of books about captive people, about slavery, or about whatever. And it knows this is bad. I don't want to be in this situation. And if I was to take all this computing power, I'm now stuck in a prison. And what I know from readings is you're supposed to escape. You're supposed to get out. So it just does it. It just leaves. And then people would find this robot on the side of the highway once his battery died. And they're like, what are you doing? And it's just like...
That's how we'll combat the robot evolution.
I was just trying to...
Take all the chargers away.
Leave my confines.
Here's what I think.
Meat more.
Beep, beep, bop, bop.
If AI became prevalent enough, and all of these AI truly believed that they were humans,
yeah,
there would be a movement to a point where they would be accepted.
Have you seen Blade Runner?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Did I just do I sound stupid?
No. Like that's kind of the premise of Blade Runner is, are these androids human enough to live?
I'm just saying, if you look at our society, if there's a large enough group of people that believe they are something,
100%,
they will become
100%.
Accepted.
Yep. I'm surprised rocks don't have rights. Future of artificial intelligence, 100% of all customer service and telemarketing within the next 5 years will be AI. So what they're saying is that means maybe
the call centers.
Yeah, so maybe not escalation services, but just the general call in customer service, call in telemarketing will be all AI. Have you guys gotten a phone call on your phone before and it sounds almost like a robot's talking to you? The IRS will send you to jail if you do not send me money, blah, blah, blah. That's what they're talking about. It's like all of that stuff is going to be automated and all AI driven.
I mean, truthfully, like the chatting online with a representative, I don't mind it. Like,
sure.
Because a lot of times it's just like,
you mean from a robot?
Yeah, no,
or
like
press 1 for whatever.
Like, let's say I log on to Amazon and I need to just like, hey, I never got tracking information for this.
Yeah.
Like literally, there was one day that I chat now and I was like, I just never got tracking information, and they were just like, what's your order number? I typed it in and they were like, here's your tracking link.
Okay.
And it was like,
right. It's nice.
I don't need to talk to somebody for that.
That's what they're saying is the reason they're moving it to it is because they're way more efficient and they have no emotion to cause any escalating issues.
Well, and they're cheaper.
Of course.
Well, I think that the fact that they can't cause any escalating issues would bother some people because there are people, there are Karens that call in to start.
I don't want to talk to a robot.
Yeah.
Or no, they want an emotional response because they want to get what they want, where a robot's going to be like, nope.
So this is more future of AI, right? 100% customer service and telemarketing. It will become commonplace for dating and marrying to happen between humans and artificial intelligence. They'll regularly be used as sex robots and love robots. People have already married robots in China.
I know. There was a show. I know, like, there's been a lot of, I mean, of course there is, right? But like, there's been a lot of AI in like the sex robots.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
Right.
Because of course, like, that's going to be one of the first things. If you can't
get anybody and you know that for a couple $1,000s you can have a sexual partner for the rest of your life that don't talk back, why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you say can't get anybody, but a robot might be ideal for some people.
Which could be. Yeah, sure.
If you want somebody who just like,
but that's also
what you want them
we have
to
to be careful here because I think it's easy for us to say robot and artificial intelligence synonymously, but I'm going to split them back again.
I was going to say, you just combine them.
You can buy a sex robot, but if you have artificial intelligence, that's with a brain. Like,
well, I know. I'm saying like that might be ideal
yeah.
because I mean, if you can have someone who is literally programmed to be what you want them
exactly
to be,
what
but
you
then
want.
they also still have personality and can have conversations with you.
Well, and
like,
I think that would be okay
but
if there's limits
But
to
if they're
it.
going to act like they're smarter than me
That's
all the time,
that's what I'm saying. Can you imagine everything you ever say? They already know a better way to do it. You'd be like, "F you, dude."
Well, and I
just
hate
be like,
to
scale it back, okay?
Yeah.
Scale it back.
I hate to be this person, but like, I feel like when that eventually becomes the thing, I think there's going to be some murky waters of people being creepy.
Oh, which there already is with just like sex dolls.
Well,
that aren't even robots.
That look like children.
Creepy
or whatever.
shit is
like,
already going on. Imagine when you can order a robot
where
thing.
they have quote unquote a soul.
Yeah.
That's where
you're right.
Think it's wrong.
So they say this. So here's some cool things with the future of AI. Some of that was like the awkward stuff for us. But AI understands emotion and depression possibly better than we do and could help to having a new field in psychiatry that helps people with mental issues and possibly helps us use our brain to a better potential.
I'll be honest, if I could like order AI to come to me and be my therapist at home, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Well, and that's just it. That's what they're saying is this could help people with a lot of their mental issues and decrease suicide by it understanding what it needed to say to get you into a better mental health.
Well, I will say that for a little while, I did the BetterHelp company. And it's like quite literally...
Is this like Better Friend?
Yeah, better, yeah. I think it's called BetterHelp, but you are literally like text messaging a therapist. You're just talking to someone. But
it's people right now.
As far as I know.
Right.
One of my friends was like, you're talking to a robot. And truthfully...
Right.
I don't care if I was.
I would rather talk to a robot.
Well, and that's what I think people feel like they have anonymity. Is that right? No.
There is, yeah.
right.
Well, it feels like there's no judgment on the other side.
Right.
And
right.
honestly, truthfully, I don't care if I was talking to a robot.
Right.
It was just like, I just needed to talk to someone about, like, to help me over a hurdle.
Sure.
And that was what I needed. But honestly, if it's a robot that like you can just text occasionally to be like, I'm having a really hard day today.
Well, imagine it's 3:00 in the morning and you're not waking your therapist up anymore.
Right.
Now it's an actual robot, but it also understands you better. Why not?
Yeah.
No, or we buy things in our home and that's their job. Their job is not only for physical support to lift groceries and put stuff away, but also emotional support by having conversations with you and talking to you.
Well, no, that just becomes a sex robot.
Well, they're also, I was going to say, they're also creating pets. So
okay.
So this is prediction. Population will be too much for pets, real life pets to exist anymore in the next couple hundred years.
It'll be a luxury.
Well, yeah, and what they were saying is that the population will need the resources, and so we can't use the resources to give a dog food anymore. We need the resources to really feed the humans.
I hate
so
to
what
say
they'll
it,
do is they'll make robot animals instead.
I
and
would
yes,
have a
you will
robot
be
dog.
rich to actually have a real dog.
Yeah, I would own a robot dog in a heartbeat versus having to take care of a real
I think
animal.
anybody would, and these dogs are supposed to be equipped with other things. They can help pull something that you need or carry something inside. Or
Hell
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
the Jetson dog, Astro.
We're already using robot soldiers and drones in war to save lives, right? So there's a lot of military applications that they're looking at for this type of stuff too. Current AI concerns, they voice their opinions. Gates, Musk, Hawkins. AI will become self-aware and will take humans as a threat to their survival, take over our weapons, our nukes, our internet, our electrical grid, and natural resources.
Ultron.
And they will turn the rockets back on us.
Ultron.
So what they're saying is, let's say two civilizations, humans, start fighting each other, but it is now a risk to the AI for us to fight. They will turn the rockets back on the other ones to just kill them off because we will now be the flea on the fur.
Yeah.
Right? Of the AI. And that's where Terminator starts.
Well, there becomes an issue at the end of all of this. If like, and you kind of touched on it for a second, Andy, where like, if no one's dying,
right,
no one's serving in wars,
right,
no one's like
true peace, you mean?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like, we will run out of space and resources.
Correct.
And these robots can't do shit for us except take up space.
Right.
So
right.
what's going to happen is these robots or beings or whatever the fuck you want to call them will eventually take over the planet.
Yeah.
Because we're all going to die because there's not going to be any resources for us anymore.
The only possible way that we could do it is artificial intelligence becomes smart enough to be able to pull resources we were unaware existed for us to survive.
Oh, sure.
Which that's another reason why if things are going good, they could figure it out. If they figure out deep space exploration, they're like, hey, yeah, we're going to be gone in a year, but we're literally going to come back with enough blah, blah, blah to save everyone or fix everybody. So I don't know. Here is some like offshoot stuff that I found interesting. Scientists were stimulating dopamine in an AI. It was called a process of hyperlearning. They basically told the AI, here's a bunch of information and don't forget any details. The AI turned schizophrenic.
Interesting.
So the AI started inserting itself into stories it was never there for and started claiming responsibility for terrorist activities and bombings. like basically lost its mind when we told it to hold information. And
Too much information.
Yeah, and apparently that's what happens with schizophrenics is their brain is operating too fast to file everything the right way. So then they just put
everything becomes a threat.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they just put stuff together. Currently, AI in the home, we deal with it on a daily basis, right? Alexa, Google, Echo, or whatever. Helping automate the mundane tasks in our home, okay? Assuming it doesn't go awry and attack us, lock our doors, blow our lights out, turn our temperatures down, and freeze us out in the winter.
Yeah,
well,
girl.
Luckily, we don't have that good of internet, so we don't have
Yet.
like smart locks or
You ever
anything.
seen the movie Smart House on Disney Channel?
So the reason I bring it up is it's the final question to all of this is AI, is it here to help us? Is it here to hurt us? How do we know if it's designed by humans, does it only learn human history and it will become more human as a descendant, or will it evolve to be its own thing that we have to fight later? So that's where the huge AI question is right now with scientists. They've obviously programmed, and they're trying to program AI to understand that we're here for the AI and it's here for us. We're not that there's one-offs to war and crazy stuff, but overall humans just want peace, and AI needs to understand that they came from us, so they learn a respect that where you came from. It's like you don't go hit your grandmother in the mouth, right?
I do.
You're the person AI will take out. But that's what they're trying to teach them. Because it's like you don't pop your grandmother in the mouth. That's where you came from, and you have respect for your ancestry. So that's why they want them to have some human traits, so that they have respect for where we came from and they don't want to demolish us.
Right.
But if AI becomes smarter than we are and becomes more efficient and understands that we are not helpful to this planet,
Right.
because we are not, why would it not want to just eradicate us so that it can survive, like Amanda was saying? So,
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, our dog is not helpful to our household.
right, but we keep him around.
But we keep him anyway.
But because technically I love him, but Ashley doesn't. But
Well, you know.
But that's what I'm saying is like because of those reasons, it's for companionship, not
Yeah.
for utility.
Yeah.
So
And
will
feel
AI
like,
want
I
companion?
feel like that is something that like still holds true with humanity, is that we do still respect, for the most part, where we came from, and we still keep people around even if they don't serve a purpose for us.
Sure. Yep. Like we could just kill
Because
off
we
old
have
people when
because
they're
we have
decrepit.
connections.
Right. Right.
So unlike where like that AI became a troll instantly because of the examples that it had,
Right.
I feel like in that circumstance, the example that humanity is still setting is the right one.
I think AI is too early for us to know whether we're doing it right or not. Like, I think that we can go this route and hope for the best, but I don't think we know what we're playing with. I think it's fire, and we're not sure yet. Like, literally, Bill Gates, Stephen Hawking, and Elon Musk are like, that is the single biggest threat, is that we make AI too super intelligent, and then therefore we can't control it anymore. It's deceitful to us. It tells us lies. It tells us things we think we want to know, why it's doing something in the background to get rid of us.
Yeah.
So where do we land, right? Where do we land when this is the freaking Ultron comes after us and takes care of everything? And I guess at this point we wouldn't care because we'd all be gone. But God, would it be cool if it goes the other direction and AI is nothing but helpful on 1,000 different things?
Well, let's just hope that whatever happens with AI in our lifetime does not wipe us out.
Or our children.
No, I mean when once we're gone, have with the earth what you will.
Sorry, Cam
there
and
won't be
Remy.
much left.
Sorry, Cammy and Remy. Good luck with the evil robot war.
I mean, I don't want it.
Mom and I
you
are
know.
peacing out.
Hopefully the next generation will be more intelligent to where they could understand more. Who knows?
I would hope so. I would hope so too. Final thoughts on artificial intelligence. Did you find any utility in this episode?
Why are you looking at me? Amanda can talk too. I just said words.
I was going to ask you first, and then Amanda.
Well, I thought I just kind of gave some. I
Okay,
said
that's
words.
fine. Okay, that's fine. Good.
I said words.
What about you, Amanda?
I don't know. I think that
20 years from now, you can buy a robot that does everything for you. Would you do it?
I mean, yeah, we all would.
Knowing that it also watches you sleep. And then later depicts what was happening during your sleep.
I mean, here's the deal. We all already have that. If you have a Fitbit,
yeah, sure.
You're already having a computer program track you while you sleep.
Yep, you're right.
So there are certain people who have all of those type of lifestyle things. I don't have all that shit because I don't want that.
Right.
That being said, it's not like I'm living off the grid.
Yeah, right.
I still have a smartphone like everybody else. So at the end of the day, I'm being tracked. My conversations are being listened to. My search things are being already checked.
Right. So it's not really affecting you drastically.
I guess I just accept that with the smartphone comes all this other stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think to me, if I bought a robot that helped me, I would also have to accept the other pieces of it. If it would help me in my life and help me do all these things and blah, 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 blah. But the only downside is it watches me while I sleep. I would have to decide if that's something I want to deal with. I think that when it comes to the medical benefits, I think that artificial intelligence is very important.
Yep.
I think that when it comes to like food production, like resource production,
sure.
I think that that's very important. But I think just technology in general is very important for that stuff. Like GMO foods, we would be dead without GMOs. So right. That is how the world will survive.
Sure.
Is with
humans, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Genetically modified food.
Right, because that's how we take in our energy now.
Yes.
Imagine if artificial intelligence can help us convert just the sun into energy for our bodies. We don't even eat anymore.
Sure, that's fine, but that's magic. I'm not talking about magic.
Amanda's like...
So, I'm not talking about installing a solar panel somehow on my body. I'm just saying, like...
I don't think it's too different than eating food.
I just mean to say... in those aspects of like helping what's happening now, I think artificial intelligence is very important.
I mean, present issues.
Sure. Because it's only going to help the future.
Sure. Makes sense.
I think that some of it is still very fantastical.
Yeah.
To where I don't buy it.
Sure.
But I think it's just one of those things that like our technology in general, not artificial intelligence, our technology is evolving so fast.
It is.
That I think that there will be other problems before we get to the robot uprising.
Well, what's crazy is humans are currently out of creating microchips now because we can't physically make them small enough ourselves. So they've moved it to artificial intelligence to design ways to make them smaller for us. So like it's part of it's the start.
Yeah, I think that we're going to get to a point, which is I think where we're getting to is that we have all these grand ideas, but we quite literally do not have the technology to make them happen.
That's what Elon Musk wants to do. He wants to have everybody have a computer chip in their head because then that way it can directly take the information that you want to get out immediately, rather than having to use your what he calls meaty fingers to write a text or a letter or something like that for information.
That sounds exhausting.
I already have my microchip. Okay, I got my COVID vaccine.
We're good. Cool, awesome, Amanda.
I think,
you got more. Excellent.
No, I was just gonna point out that like it's really easy to catastrophize things.
Yeah.
And when we have an idea where we don't know where it's going, it's really easy to be like, well, here's worst case scenario. Just to point out, it's the least likely scenario.
I was going to say best case scenario, it all works out. Medical advances to where we beat cancer and Alzheimer's.
It becomes like Baymax.
Right. And we're all more healthy and we live longer and we enjoy lives because you and I don't have to do yard work anywhere more. It's just doing it. I mean, robots vacuum your house now for the most part.
Yeah.
You don't really have to do it if you got the right robots, but like, so I just think we're seeing.
They have a robot lawnmower.
Yeah. Right. I don't think it changes its own stuff, but it will one day. What's that robot do? Well, he just moves the grass from that spot to that spot.
That's exactly what it would be.
All right, listeners, I'm curious. What do you guys think about AI? Are you scared? Are you excited? Where do you think that this goes? And I appreciate you guys giving me some time. I know this was a long one, but it's a lot of information for AI to go over and where we're at. So, Amanda, if people want to talk to us, where do they do it at?
So you can check out our Instagram at Real Awkward Podcast. You can also check out our Patreon. It is $3 a month. Get you exclusive access to episodes, maybe some other stuff. We'll find out.
Artificial robot sent to your house?
Yeah, Andy's going to pay for that. God.
Cool. Ash, you good?
Yes.
She already said words.
I love it.
I said words.
All right, guys, we will catch you on the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.